was 12, I started to volunteer in Ilan, a nonprofit that helps people with physical disabilities. I came there to be a tutor of Kfir, a 3-year-old kid that had CP. He couldn't walk, talk, or eat, or do anything on his own, but mentally he understood everything. And before I met him, I was a bit scared because I never worked with someone with disability, and I wasn't sure that I'll know what to do with him. But when I first met him, I saw his big smile, face full of freckles, big brown eyes full of love, and we really fell in love with each other immediately. It was truly love at first sight. We used to do everything together. We used to play, to sing songs, to read books, to watch movies. And my visits grew from once a week, 1 hour, to 3 times a week, 3 hours each. And he was like a brother to me, and his family became a second family to me. They actually shaped the way I looked at life. They made me understand that there is no such thing as disability, and that we all have disabilities. They looked at Kfir as if it was 100% perfect, and it was because Kfir loved himself and was very proud. And their house was full of love all the time. Growing up next to him brought up 3 major concerns to my mind. The first was about the future. What will happen when he'll grow up? Will he ever go to do military service? Will he ever go to the university? Will he ever get married? The second thing that came to my mind that bothers me was whenever we went out, the way people looked at us. People will always look at me as if I was a teenage saint, helping the disabled poor child. And people, whenever they looked at Kfir, they only saw the wheelchair. They never bothered to see how smart, funny, stubborn kid he was. When I was 16, I joined LEAD, a leadership development program for 16-year-olds. And I was asked then, what is the one thing in the society that bothers me the most? And to think of the best solution to that need I identified. I had a lot of things that bothers me back then, and I had 2 meaningful conversations. One was with Eliav, the CEO of the organization. He came to me and said, Adi, you're doing an amazing work with Kfir. You're so meaningful to him, and he's so important to you. But what about all the rest of the kids with special needs in your country that never met Adi? And of course, what about all the Adis out there that never had a chance to meet someone like Kfir? And another conversation I had was with Kfir's mother, Claudia. And she said, why won't you start something for Kfir and his friends, something that they can play. And for us, we'll have 1 day, once a week for ourselves, the parents. And then I understood that Kfir's biggest need was his biggest strength. He had an amazing social skills. He was always the center of everything. He had a great sense of humor. But his natural opportunities for childhood was very different than mine. He cannot just pick up the phone and call a friend and meet and play. He cannot just go to the park on his own and play with friends. And through him, I met a lot of kids with special needs, and I saw that they feel very isolated. They feel very lonely because they don't have friends. And then I decided I want to create a youth movement so that every child in Israel, no matter what kind of disability he has, because as I said, we all have disabilities, will have the opportunity to have social life and to have friends and to be meaningful for the community. And I had no idea how to create a youth movement. I never done anything like that, and I was only 16. I met another friend named Uded. We decided to call this youth movement Krembo Wings. Krembo is a Israeli sweet, and wings, so we'll spread our wings. And we've started really small. We had the first branch in my hometown in Hod HaSharon. We gathered Kfir's friends and our friends, and I duplicated the model of Adi and Kfir into a group, so it was a personal tutoring in a group. We met once a week for 3 hours, and we just played. And then I understood that everyone has the right to play. And our vision was and still is together to create a place and meaning for every person in society. It became the greatest thing in our lives. And after a few months, I got a phone call from Liat, a friend in Be'er Sheva. She was 17 back then. She called me and she said, Adi, I'm babysitting Gal. She has Rett syndrome, and she doesn't have any friends. We should start a branch here in the south in Be'er Sheva. So we started a branch in Be'er Sheva. And then I got another phone call from my friends at the north saying that they're volunteering this special school. And the kids there, their dream is to wear uniforms, to sing songs, to go to summer camp, to be in youth movement. So we started a branch over there. After 1 year, we had 4 branches with more than 150 participants. Thank you. Today, Krembo Wings operate 21 branches all over the country with more than 2,000 participants. In 2009, we were honored to receive the Presidential Award from our President Shimon Peres for leading social change in Israel. In the 60th Independence Day of Israel, we were chosen to light the torch in Mountain Herzl on behalf of the youth movements and the youth organization in the country. And in 2010, we were chosen to be the social movement of the decade by Maariv. Thank you. Kfir died 6 years ago at the age of 11 and a half. He was my greatest teacher because he taught me to love myself, to accept my own disabilities, to go beyond my dreams. And through him, I learned that I can create a change. He was my greatest leader because he led me to create this change. And I invite you to think of something that bothers you, to think of the best solution to that need you're identifying, and to be open to people so you have the opportunity to meet someone like Kfir that will influence your life the way he influenced mine. Thank you.